This is the Biafra national anthem.
Euros, 40 euros, 20 euros. I love to go. Man, beat.
What does Biafra mean?
It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice.
In practical terms, these are very good sounding words, but in practical terms, what does Biafra mean?
Confederation.
So, a weak center,
Very weak.
very strong regions.
Absolutely.
Have you had a change of mind, therefore, about getting an independent Biafra? Because that's what I seem to be hearing.
No, I've not changed my mind, no. And independent Biafra means going back to where we were before the white man came.
Okay, so you're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing
Or
else?
death, yes.
Or death?
That's good.
If push comes to shove,
Yes.
will you go to war?
No, because truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars.
So
Truth.
no war. You've ruled out the
Absolutely, I don't
war.
believe in war. No, no war. When I say Biafra ordered it, I'll keep pushing. Either I am alive, I die in the process, I won't stop. Allow me to repeat, if you don't mind. Had sovereign national conference been convened by the powers that be, where every ethnic national, I said every, I don't care if there are 600, I don't care. Everyone is
All the 500 plus.
everyone together to say this is all. Others can delegate, I don't know, powers to other people to attend on their behalf. Sit down to say, what type of country do we want? Sit down, discuss, agree. I can begin to perhaps submit to your
Is it
position.
too late?
It is way too late. They've killed too many people. They've ruined too many lives. They've wasted too many souls. How do we bring those people back?
If the federal government, given the agitation that is going on, becomes convinced that, you know what, these people have a point, it is time to actually address all these issues, and they begin to systematically address some of these issues, would you change your mind?
No, because of the deceptions of the past.
No trust.
No trust. Aburi was there, it was negotiated. Nothing happened. 1968, if I recall. And the confab report, what became of it? How about the 3 R's? Reconciliation, reconstruction, and heaven knows what else. What became of them? Nothing. Calabar Seaport is not working. Can you tell me why it's not working? It's a seaport used by the colonial masters. Why is it not working today? How about Iguacha Seaport? Why is it not being used? Why not worry? Why must we allow only Lagos to function as a viable seaport? In England, where I used to live, you had Liverpool, you had the Sun, which is Portsmouth, you had Southampton. Everywhere you had harbors and ports. So why must you have only one?
I've heard people say these are very valid arguments, and that these are things that are to do with bad governance. So the average Biafran, to use your phrase, or Igbo man in the Igbo, is facing poverty much in the same way that the average guy in Yobe State is facing poverty. And so these are issues of governance. You don't agree with that?
I agree completely.
Okay. So if that is it, why isn't the agitation about tackling the problem, which is ensuring good governance, perhaps starting from locally? Because part of the allegations against you is that you don't confront your political leaders in the East, and you'd like to blame Abuja for everything.
Because the way I would want to solve a problem is not how a Fulani man would want to solve it.
You really believe this is an ethnic thing, and the approach is different?
No, the approach is different. No, it's not ethnic. It is more to do with value system.
Right.
The way you may want to solve a problem could be markedly different from how I do mine.
What is the geographical makeup of Biafra, as far as you are concerned, this Biafra that you want? So, for example, if we're doing a referendum, where will that referendum take place? Is it only the 5?
It's on, no.
It's okay.
It's on, which is River State, Bayelsa, Delta, Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Cross River.
Akwa Ibom?
And Akwa Ibom, of course. Yes.
Right.
Those are the coasters. Basically,
Bayelsa?
yes. Southeast and South-South without Edo State.
Without Edo State.
That's correct. And then including Igede, Idoma.
Right, the Benues, so the Igalas and part of the Kogi,
yes.
Kogi
Yes.
state, right?
Yeah.
Nyosom Wike, the governor of the governor of River State, made a statement, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and said, you know, you should not be including River State
It's for
and the
River State to decide,
people.
not him. I can't decide for Biafrans. You have to go and vote and convince the whole world that they want Biafra. It's not for instance, it's only one man, one vote.
What if they're not even willing to take part in the referendum? Because I've had people from the South, for example, from Bayelsa. I've had people from Cross River. I think there's a famous actress, Kate Henshaw, for example, wrote a long piece about why people of the South don't want to be dragged into a place called Biafra. You're saying, regardless of what they say, you want a referendum in those parts?
Because I know the majority of the people want a referendum. I was in Iguacha yesterday.
How do you know?
I was there yesterday. I was in Iguacha yesterday. You call Port Harcourt. I was there yesterday. I should have been there to see what happened.
Now,
They were delighted to see me. I'm sure you know that. It's all over the place. They're very happy to see me. I bet Kate Henshaw wouldn't get such reception. Where she to go to?
as a big, popular Nollywood actress, I wouldn't necessarily...
I'm telling you, if I go to have a
O Mary Wonendizu, Wonioya, Abakare, Mama Baora, Bonapori Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. I thought that's one, I thought that's two. na python that's a threat. Una puri meri Namdi win the war. Python that's one, python that's two. Na python that's a threat. Una puri meri Nande bu onye du aimo. O meri wone nizu ngiro ya. Abakare mamanda ora. Una puri meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, python that's two. Now python that's a three. Una puri meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, python that's two. Now python that's a three. Una puri meri Nandi.
Onye duru anyị wee bịa njem na Amerịka. Anyị bịa ka ibe leta nwanne anyị nwoke bụ nna anyị n'obodo a. Bụ onye anyị nwụrịla anya na nchekwube na eziokwu nke ya nwa na onye ji guzo. Na eziokwu a ga na-edu ụmụ Biafra na-aga n'ihu. Ọ ga na-edu IPOB na-aga n'ihu. Anyị bịara n'ụlọ ya nabata anyị. Were obi ọcha na obi dowe nabata anyị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị ya na mma na ezinụlọ ya na mma. Anyị na-asị na ihe ọbụla anyị chọrọ bịa Amerịka anyị ga-enwetarịrị ya. N'ihi na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu mgbe na-ewu n'ọnwụ ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ. Nwa mmụọ emegbula nwa mmadụ, nwa mmiri emegbula nwa mmụọ. Ihe anyị na-ekwu. Anyị na-asị na Biafra ga-abịara na ndụ na-awụghị n'ọnwụ. Anyị ga-eru uru ọmụmụ. Anyị ga-eri uru akụ na ụba n'ime Biafra. Anyị na-asị na onye ọwụla pụtara na sị na Biafra agaghị adị, onye ahụ agaghị adị.
Biafra Republic!
Anyị na-asị na nkụ ga-ekwe ọ ga-edo ọ ga-anwụ. Ọ bụ eziokwu ka anyị ji na-aga njem a. Ọ bụ ịhụnanya ka anyị ji na-aga. Ofu obi. Anyị na-asị onye ọbụla hụrụ eziokwu jide eziokwu aka. N'ihi na ọ bụ eziokwu bụ ndụ. Ọ bụghị okwu asị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-ada anyị niile na mma. Anyị ga-ahụ echi n'ihi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụ. Anyị na-arịọ Chukwu okike abịa ma ka onye anyị ndụ nye anyị ahụ isi ike, nye anyị ngọzi nke ya, nye anyị ịhụnanya. Ekpere niile ka anyị na-ekpe ọwụ ka onye bi n'ime eluigwe ka o wee nụrụ olu anyị, wee gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka, wee zọpụta anyị na akpa niile nke na-akpa anyị nke bụ Biafra. Anyị na-asị n'ikpete maazụ anyị ga-enye aha nsị ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na eji ama site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi.
Amadike Biafra.
Biafra Republic! Biafra Republic! Biafra Republic!
We are going to do wonders. I want you all to understand that we are in a very big battle. Battle for freedom is not for lily-livered people. It's not for kids. Battle for freedom, they throw bombs, rockets for people to get freedom. So freedom is not meant for people that are too emotional. It's not meant for people that, somebody will talk this and talk that and they begin to shiver. No. I am born for Biafra to come. And I'm going to help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to get Biafra. Believe me. Go and mark today's date. I want to assure Biafrans, so long as you continue to stand on your freedom, I will be there for you. So long as you continue to maintain that you have a right to live, I, Simon Ekpa, will be there. Any day, anytime.
Hey! Hey! Biafra Republic! Biafra Republic!
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's program. I appreciate everyone that has connected wherever you are connecting from. I thank you for giving us your time. Please, as you join this platform, like and share. Invite somebody to join us on this program. It is very important that we continue to pass this message. No matter the propaganda, the blackmail they are pushing, we must never give up. Wherever you are watching me from, I welcome you and I thank you for being part of today's program. My fellow Biafrans, it is time for us to stand up and do what we have to do. When you look at my title there, it says, BRICS Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, the nightmare of Asorock and Saboutuers, winning the diplomatic wars. The Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in Exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, is the nightmare of Asorock. And every day we see them running from pillar to pole. We see them today running from one angle to the other, looking for solutions. But no matter how they run from pillar to pole, it doesn't concern us. We don't want to know. We are very much focused on our freedom. And no amount of blackmail will make us run away from our freedom. Whatever blackmail they are pushing there, we do not care. Our concern today is our freedom. And we will take our freedom by fire, by force. We are not going to beg anybody for our freedom. Since 1967, up to this moment, we have been appealing to the world. We have been crying and sharing tears. We have been losing life, and we have been making sacrifices, including sacrifices to see if the zoo can work. But every time we make those moves, it comes back with a lot of backlash. The more we make move to rescue the zoo, the more they make life miserable for us. And we will continue to make difference. We can no longer beg anybody. The time has come for us to take the bull by the horn. That is why today Biafran government is doing exploits. Biafran government is going to every length to see that things are done right. We don't care their propaganda. We do not care about their blackmail. In short, we don't care about what they say or what they don't say. Our concern today is Biafra. As we speak, Biafran government is giving the Nigerian government woto. We are winning them diplomatically. We have won them politically. And we are winning them in armed struggle. It is all-round defeat. What they have today is to cry. They cry to Amnesty International. They cry to ICC. And they cry to their citizens. But no matter how they cry, nobody is going to listen to them because Nigeria is a terrorist country. This same Nigeria is a country that does not obey its own rule. Before you can think of reporting the Biafran government or Biafran people to the ICC, before you can be dragging our Prime Minister to ICC, you have to first of all clear your record. You have to first of all release our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, from your DSS. You have to first of all explain to us why you kidnapped the Supreme Leader of IPOB for the past 3 years and you continue to hold him in captivity. You're calling ICC today to investigate the Liberation Army of Biafra is laughable. The Liberation Army of Biafra got hold of somebody who you have employed and made a terrorist. And because of their good heart, and because the Biafran army knows the rule of engagement, they captured that terrorist from Oduduwa land. A terrorist that you recruited, an innocent man that you recruited and made him a terrorist from Oduduwa land. The Biafran army captured him and they released him to go. To send a strong message that what they are after is their freedom. The battle is not against any tribe. It's not against any religion. It is against those who have made themselves available as an instrument of destruction. Those who have been able to be recruited as terrorists, whether in uniform or off uniform. If you are part of those and you are caught in Biafran territory, sorry, that is your name. The man, the Yoruba man was very, very lucky. Was very lucky. And he was released. And we'll see the zoo running from pillar to pole, and they are calling on ICC to investigate the Liberation Army of Biafra. ICC to investigate the operation of the Biafran government. And they forget that we have written ICC series of letters. Our letters are there, piled up in ICC, right from the time of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Amnesty International have issued so many reports on your inhuman treatment and the loss of life of the Biafran people in your hand. There are many Amnesty International reports on video of the inhuman treatment, of the disappearance of Biafrans in the hands of the Nigerian government. There is one that they did recently. And they are warning Biafrans that more Biafrans are going to disappear in the hands of the Nigerian terrorists, military, and the police. You must have to go first of all and clear this, clear yourself before you can open your mouth and call on any group on the Biafran government. As you are making this your ugly and idiotic move, the Biafrans are doing exploit. As you continue to preach this your lie and propaganda, the Biafrans are moving forward. We cannot stop. Your propaganda and your blackmail can never stop us. So this evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you're watching me from, we are going to dive into update from our Prime Minister on X. From there, we can now come out and look at some other issues that we can address. Let us go and see what we have as updates from our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. We have a series of updates. So we have to check what update we have. Let us look through and see the updates that we have. Because Biafrans must be getting information on point and on time. So here are we on the platform of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is where we are, bringing information to your doorstep. We can see the information that came in about 1 hour ago. It says, breaking. The Biafra Republic Government in Exile Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, has just arrived South Korea to represent Biafra government in the World Peace Summit 2024. Biafra is once again represented in World Peace Summit 2024. In 2023, we were also represented, and it was here that our Prime Minister was given the Ambassador of Peace. This is where our Prime Minister was given Ambassador of Peace. And in 2024, we are there again. The Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, has just arrived South Korea to represent Biafra government in the World Peace Summit. Biafra is making waves in America, in Asia, in Europe, and anywhere possible where our voice needs to be heard. We are not relenting or stepping back. This is Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, recognized as she attends the 10th anniversary of September 18th World Peace Summit. The World Peace Summit. Biafra is represented. The Biafra Governmental Chief of Army Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, has just arrived South Korea to represent Biafra government in the World Peace Summit 2024. This is what is happening as we speak. So you can see that it is not just staying and making noise. This is our Chief of Staff. The arrival of Biafra Chief of Staff in South Korea today, 17/9/2024. This is happening today, not yesterday. This is the latest information. Biafra is being represented. Anywhere we go, we are represented. It is not just coming online to talk. We are showing evidence. And there's no going back. This is why Nigerian government is afraid. This is why Nigerian government is shaking. This is why Nigerian government cannot stand. This is why they are calling on ICC to cause distraction. They are scared of the recognition Biafra is gaining across the world. And I bet you, in a very short while, this recognition is going to go very far. It is going to go very, very far than you expect. And as time goes on, we are going to be bringing you more updates from this very event. More update is going to be coming from these events. You are going to be getting more updates. All you need to do is to stay tuned, continue to follow, and you will see more updates come your way. The next update we have is that our Prime Minister is urging Tell Remigius, the Truth TV, to create a new YouTube, and I will share it for the Biafran to follow immediately. Though our app will be launched by the end of this month or first week of October, and the problem will be solved. Yeah, this is one of our media, one of members of the media of Biafra that speaks out. Most of you might know him, Remigius. They brought his channel down. That is what we are facing. Every one of them. I have lost so many channels in this very YouTube one, especially. So many times I build my YouTube. I have built so many channels. When I build it, they bring it down. When I build this, they bring it down. So many channels I build and they brought down. So this always happens. And whenever they happen, we don't give up. That is why we have backup channels. That when they take down one, we can continue with the other one and build another one. And I have other channels that I'm also building, which I will always applaud you to join. Whenever you see a channel that belongs to the Biafran people, make sure you join and support it, because the social media network is not our friend. But our own channel is going to be launched very soon. Hopefully by the end of this month or first week of next month. When our channel is launched, all this problem of losing channels will be over and we are good to go. So my fellow Biafrans, this is the update that we have. And this is our chief of army staff, chief of staff. This is our chief of staff. And she is there in a picture with some other participant in the event. Official welcome of Biafra Republic Government in Exile under Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in South Korea. Regional Director, IWPG in gold. That's the regional director, the one that is wearing gold. And Jane Bear, welcome the Briggs COS, Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Oraboeze, to the 10th annual commemoration of the World Peace Summit in South Korea. That is where our Chief of Staff is. You can see our Chief of Staff in the middle there, and the Regional Director of the IWPG in gold, and other people who are there to welcome her. These are the updates that we need to see. And this is the new channel of our brother Truth TV. This is Truth Guard TV. This one is Truth Guard TV. So try to subscribe to this channel. Go and look for Truth Guard TV and subscribe to it. It's our brother Remigius. He has been doing wonderfully well when it comes to the message of Biafra. He has been preaching and going very, very strong. And they brought down his channel. So we need to support him to build up a channel that he can be able to air his voice again. So go and look for the channel Truth Guard TV and follow him. Biafra are all to immediately subscribe to the new YouTube channel of Remigius Truth TV, as the criminal has succeeded in blocking his channel. Subscribe on his channel and support him pending when our app will be launched. So make sure you go and subscribe. We are all facing these challenges. That is why you have to keep on supporting. When you come to our program, you like the program and you share. When you like and share, you are helping to promote the program and make things get to where it should go. This is another update. Let's see what the update is saying. Prime Minister said, when are you going to start addressing the terrorists by their names? They are the Nigerian army. Yeah, this is another, I think it's another attack of the terrorists. The terrorists are blocking the Fulani terrorists block road. You see how people are on the road waiting. They abducted travelers. Kidnappers abduct travelers in broad daylight. And all they do is to cover the news and begin to share it. Nothing is being done. And it is the terrorist army that is doing this oppression. Even when they have the checkpoint everywhere, kidnapping, abduction is still going on. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad, but that is the truth. So wherever you are, we must continue to do the right thing and do ignore all these criminals or whatever they're saying. wherever you are watching this program, I urge you in the name of Chukwuka Caribbean, do not allow these criminals to get accused to you. Do not allow the idiots to get to you. No matter how they try, no matter their criminality, don't allow them to get to you. We must continue to fight our battle and pursue our freedom until we are free. It is our right to be free. And my fellow Biafrans, I want to share with you another program that we have to digest today. One of the program I saw on one of their conventional media. We will look into that program to hear what they are saying. As always, you know what we do here is to dissect everything they are doing online. We bring it, dissect it, so that the whole world will know what is going on.
Nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. And we'll question it with gun, we'll question it with bomb, we'll question it with civility, we'll question it diplomatically, and we'll question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach. That thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide.
You have heard from our Prime Minister, and I bet you every one of us should know that where we are today, there is no going back. It is forward ever and backward never. Let us watch this program and discuss about it for today.
Court to take swift action against the outlawed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, and its leader, Simon Ekpa, for crimes against civilians in the southeast. In a statement by spokesman, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, the army condemned the brutal torture.
You have seen the way they are reported. Number one, our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is not the leader of IPOB Nigeria. We no longer have IPOB. What we have today is the government of Biafra. But they have refused to address our Prime Minister as the Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile. They prefer to talk about IPOB. They talk about IPOB and they bring Mazi Simon Ekpa inside. He has made it very clear where we stand today. And I don't know why it is difficult for them to understand. Our Prime Minister have made it clear to them our stand today. I don't know why it is difficult for them to understand the stance of the Biafran people. We have explained it in different terms, and our Prime Minister himself have actually explained it in a layman's language for them to understand, but yet they have refused to understand this fact. Let me try and see if I can get that very video where our Prime Minister explained in a layman's language for them to understand, but yet they have refused to understand. Let me see if this is the video.
mentioning Biafra government, they continue to write IPOB. We have made it very clear, and let me also use this opportunity to say it as it is for people, for them, because they continue to use IPOB. We are not IPOB as an organization. We are Government of Biafra in exile and the Biafra de facto government in the homeland. We are not IPOB as an organization. IPOB is indigenous people of Biafra, and this government represents indigenous people of Biafra as a nation and as a people, not as organization. And that should be made very, very clear in case they were not understanding. So not when we do something under this government, do not attach IPOB as an organization to it. I want to send this particular message to be very, very clear to the Nigeria state today, so that they should be addressing whatever we are doing properly to the Biafra government, not attaching IPOB to it. IPOB is a register.
Now you have seen it. This explanation have been made again and again and again. But these idiotic people, they will never,
Diwali, seen in a viral video circulated by IPOB.
They will never learn. They will prefer to use their own language. I want you to see the idiotic way they are introducing. And again, as I have always said, whenever they want to do their nonsense address, whenever they want to make it, they always use an Igbo person. In all the places, the people that are defending their nonsense and their idiocy, they use the Igbo people. Spokesmen in the police, in the DSS, in the army, they are all Igbos. Why? Why? They will always bring an Igbo man to defend their madness. What a shame. This is the reason why we must get out of the zoo. Let's watch.
Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its leader, Simon Ekpa, for crimes
He is not the
against
leader
civilians.
of IPOB. He is the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in exile, not the leader of IPOB. Not the leader of, he is the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government. He has just explained it now. I don't know why it is difficult for these people to understand simple ABC.
In the southeast. In a statement by spokesman, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, the army condemned the brutal torture of ex-soldier Corporal Toriola Adewale, seen in a viral video circulated by IPOB. The army demanded that the international community condemn these inhuman acts in the strongest terms and hold IPOB accountable for their cruelty. Oh well, we do have with us in the studio Shegun Shokwito, Chairman, Accountability, Candor, and Transparency Network. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And right beside him, Akin Fatunke, Communication Consultant. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, crew, and good morning, Nigerians.
All right then. Good morning. Well, the Nigerian army is calling for assistance. Should this be on social media, or we've been trying to wrap our head around why Simon Ekpa has not been brought back to Nigeria to answer for the incitement that he has made over the years. And the question around Nigeria's relationship with Finland has come up quite a number of times. Let me come to you now, Mr. Fafatunke. What do you make of this statement, really? Is this delay tactics in the Nigerian army carrying out its duties and the Nigerian government in general?
Well, how do they say it? Too little, too late sometimes. But being late does not necessarily mean that whatever it is that is done against any human, whatever form, whether it is one now, Toriola Adeyemi, that we are looking at, or when you wipe the mirror the other side, the near program, please, but it's not a program, tactics that I know the military also have used in that part of the country. I'm talking about Southeast. Neither makes it right or wrong. And I also know that Finland has been contacted, allegedly, and I believe the government, when they say they've contacted Finland, by way of finding a way around, extraditing.
Okay. Extraditing Simon Ekpa.
Simon Ekpa, finding a way around that. I was on a roundtable discussion sometime when it was clearly stated by those people who know a bit more than me in diplomatic relations that it's not just something you could just snap your finger and get on, especially if those personalities are allegedly, they've gone out there because of persecution, just like Nnamdi Kanu. So having said all that, do I think that the statement by the Nigerian army is meet and proper? Yes, I think. A civilian has been tortured. It should not happen. 24 wrongs will not make one to be right. And I know that my very good friends, have a load of them from the southeast, will not want to, broach a situation where people will take laws into their hands. But you see, what I've just tried to do now is not then to say, look, at the end of the day, this will continue unless we go to root causes. And root causes can continue to go to grandfather, father, son, in terms of you trying to find, can we look for a political solution? And I have always said it. I think that big hurdle, I've always pleaded, and people say that I don't need to plead, but I have always pleaded that Nnamdi Kanu is not only going to be released, it's only the timing that we should be looking out for. I think he will be released. Right. I pray he will be released, and timely enough that we can have some semblance of the tongues in the southeast.
Mr. Shegun, there are some quotas of the opinion that the letter from the Nigerian army to international bodies is more like a way to stop Simon Ekpa from going on with the November 29th conference or convention which he organizes in Finland. Remember, he made mention of 50 million people voting in referendum for Biafra or for IPOB. He also shared a line of thought.
I don't necessarily think so. I think that the Simon Ekpa issue is a long-standing one, and I'm not sure that the call from the Nigerian army is necessarily targeted at a particular event that is coming up. I think it's probably more them, in my opinion, I think they're even playing to the gallery to an extent. I haven't particularly taken their call seriously for one simple reason. The Nigerian army is notorious with its human rights records, in those theaters where they have been in operations trying to combat whatever forces, they might feel that they are legitimately combating. Legitimately so. But in the process of defending the territorial integrity of your country, there are rules and conventions all over the world with regards to how you treat even enemy combatants. And the Nigerian army has not been particularly, they've not painted themselves in glory.
So you think that their notoriety in how they carry out their operations is going to, deter the international organization from listening to their calls or their...
Yeah, I think that their call will be taken with a pinch of salt. It almost seems like a bit of sarcasm to me. Everybody, so to put it in common parlance, hey, Shebi, every time you people are carrying us to ICC and carrying us to Amnesty International, now we too want to go to ICC and Amnesty International. It looks that way to me, because in my view, yes, the way the gentleman was treated was absolutely abominable and must be condemned. I think that the Nigerian army are well equipped to go in and retrieve him and do whatever they need to do while staying within the ambits of the law. So they don't have too much of my sympathy, to be honest.
But we're having a double way in this story. The Nigerian army of the opinion that this man served, that the man is still in service. Now, is it that the Nigerian army don't really know the man's status?
No, I mean...
Or are we having a discrepancy now to mean his own idea?
We have to go with the official statement from the Nigerian army. Nobody will know who works for the Nigerian army more than the Nigerian army themselves. So,
82 division, something happened in 82 division some months ago, where a man...
You must listen carefully to these people. Number one, when they are debating the call of ICC and Amnesty International on Biafra government, the purpose of that call is not because of this man you are seeing here. It's not because of this soldier that was set free by the Liberation Army. The purpose of their making that call is because of the series of meetings that the Biafra government is holding with top officials in the United States. And our Prime Minister, Samuel, has responded and written official statements regards to this. The reason why these people are making this claim, calling Amnesty International and calling the ICC, is because they are so scared that the United States is about to recognize Biafra, because it is evidence with humorous evidence that Biafrans have at hand and the meetings the lobbying group are going on doing. In the United States, they have seen it on picture and video. They are scared, and because they are scared, that is why they are running helter-skelter, trying to call Amnesty International and all whatnot. But that is a failed operation. It's a failed move. They will never succeed. They will never succeed. That is why they are making that move. Today, they are claiming that this man is not a soldier. They say he's a dismissed soldier or maybe a former soldier. They call him a former soldier, and this is one of the madness in Nigeria. I don't know why a normal human being will still be serving in their military. They are very quick in denying their military men. This is how that when their military men lost their life, they don't even go to retrieve the corpse. They don't even give them a befitting burial. Once you are caught as a Nigerian soldier, they will deny you instantly. They have been doing it. This is not the first time they are denying their soldier. This is not the first time. Once their soldier has a problem and you carry, the Nigerian government will deny you. And I don't know why some people who still have common sense will be serving in the Nigerian soldier. Why would any human being be representing a country that will deny you? Why will you be representing a company that cannot stand for you? An entity that will never fight for you? Even when they lose their soldier, they do not go back to retrieve the corpse. We have seen it again and again. Now, the first thing they are doing here is to deny this man that he is not a soldier. What a shame. What a shame. Let us listen and hear what they are saying.
Killed a woman, allegedly, though the Nigerian army were like, they are looking into that. It happened there in 82 division. The Nigerian army of the opinion that the man who did that, it's not, or was not recruited from the Joint Task Force. And they said he's not a repentant Boko Haram member. Whereas we have other information out there on the social media platform showing that this man was recruited from the Joint Task Force as a repentant Boko Haram member. So do you also think that we're seeing a clear notion of all the stories happening?
Well, it's. I guess we would have to take that as a separate case, and maybe that would call to question the integrity of the information that comes out of the Nigerian. And we do know, we've seen in the past that, again, they've not necessarily painted themselves in glory when it comes to even disseminating factual information about things that are going on. I remember the very unfortunate incident in 2020 where we all saw live videos. I saw live transmission, Instagram live feed, where bullets were being removed from people's legs. And then the Nigerian army came out in an official statement and said it was, what do they call it, doctored or something like that. That was a bit ridiculous. So they have a checkered history. And for me, it's the reason I'm a bit unsympathetic towards whatever they're saying now. I think the guy that is being maltreated by IPOB, if that is the case, should be rescued, and they should deal with them with the full force of the law and the might that they have, the might of the state, and that's that about that. Why are they going to the ICC?
Okay.
I don't understand that at all.
Thanks very much. Let me stay with you on this issue. You said something about this case not being isolated. I think it has a broader perspective.
Absolutely.
So in the sense that it should have a broader perspective, do you think that it's some kind of selective justice on the part of the Nigerian army, to take the case of IPOB to the ICC and Amnesty International? The same Amnesty International that has several times called out the Nigerian army against inhuman treatments to civilians. And again, for the fact that the Nigerian army have not been able to take the same case of Boko Haram, bandits and terrorists to the ICC. You recall what happened when Jonathan tried headlong, to decimate the terrorists. And it was like, oh, we are going to ICC because in here, Geographical, you are chief of army staff. You people are killing my people and all of that. So do you think it amounts to selective justice on the part of the Nigerian army to do one thing in this case and do another in another case in the same jurisdiction?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that that's part of the reason that I'm skeptical towards this, their call, because it's one, I mean, look, that's one single individual. One individual that is maltreated by any unlawful means or whatever is too much. You don't have to get to 2 or 3. So we have to condemn that. But my goodness, I mean, the kidnappings that are happening every day in this country, people taking ransom and then still killing the victims. Where was the Nigerian army and where was the petition to the ICC, when all of these things were happening? For me, honestly, it's ridiculous. I think that sometimes these government officials really do need a bit of reorientation. They have to take citizens a bit more seriously than they do.
Does it speak to the complicity or lack of intentionality on the part of the government in fighting insecurity? Do you think should we think in that direction?
Look, that's a bigger problem. That's a big problem that we are grappling with, and we need answers to. Why are the bandits? Why do they seem so powerful? Why do they?
It is because the Nigerian government is complicit. The Nigerian government are part of the bandits. They are part of the terrorists. That is why they are not serious in their issues. They have not even designated Boko Haram terrorist group up to this minute. The bandits you are mentioning their name are terrorists. Why are they not named terrorists? Why are you calling them bandits? The only reason why they are not serious about these people you are mentioning is because the government of Nigeria is complicit. They are the ones sponsoring them in one way or the other, directly and indirectly, even providing financial aid to them. And there are evidence to that, in case you do not know.
Why does the problem seem so intractable? Why are we still talking about Boko Haram after almost 20 years? Why do we still have even the IPOB/ESM problem in the Southeast? Why does it appear as though the Nigerian state is unable to address these problems? It's a big problem, so that's the...
You will have IPOB because the case of IPOB is different. IPOB is asking for referendum. They are asking for referendum to have their own nation. Do not compare IPOB with your Boko Haram or whatever. They are not the same. IPOB is not a terrorist organization. They have aim and objective, and everyone knows what they are asking for. An independent state of Biafra. What is the Boko Haram asking for? What is Boko Haram looking for? They say that education is a crime. Western education is a crime. They don't want to have anything to do with Western education. They want to create an Islamic state all over Nigeria. Their request is different. You don't compare them with legitimate organization like IPOB that is registered. Don't compare them. They are not the same.
The larger question that I think the Nigerian should be focusing their energies on, rather than writing letters to the ICC and all of that.
All right.
Okay. Well, let me come to you now, Mr. Fatumke. Crocodile Tears was held some years back, and there was outcry that civilians were tortured. These people were beaten into gutters. Nigerians complained. Well, nothing particularly was done in that regard. And here we are, the Nigerian army. This is not to color or to, give credence to the activities of IPOB. But this is looking at, in comparison with the actions of the Nigerian army themselves, the Nigerian military in general. They have clamped down on individuals. They have terrorized, well, I use that word loosely. They have dealt with civilians in ways that, in fact, bring it. Let's move away from the southeast in particular now. Okwama, not too long ago, something was done to soldiers in that area, and they came hard on the people, drove women and children into the creeks.
These are the people that are going to Amnesty International.
What do you make of this call?
Okwama case is a very simple test. The way they destroyed life and property, it is not only there. They did that in Udi. They did that in Obibo. Which one are you going to mention? They killed people and threw in Ozu River. We saw when they opened fire on the IPOB members where they were organizing prayer. We saw how they took the life of IPOB members on Head Bridge. Which one are you going to mention? You saw what they did to the Shiite people. Up to almost 1,000 people were lost their life in the hand of these soldiers, simply because they said that the Shiites were blocking the road. The atrocity of the terrorist government of Nigeria and their military is everywhere. In ICC, in Amnesty International, they have this fact. Still yet, these idiots are calling them. The only reason they are making that noise is because of the moves the Biafran government is making. They saw that the Biafran government is going extra mile. They see the meeting we are holding with top officials in the United States, in DC. They have seen the top officials. We have met the number 3 man in the United States. So many meetings are going on and still going on. Many diplomatic moves are made on, and they are hearing about it. That is why today they are trying to cause distraction. They are trying to create distraction to see that people will not come and recognize Biafra. The recognition is going to come. Wait until after the declaration of independence state of Biafra, December 2nd. You're going to hear a bombshell. Let's watch.
Are they justified, really?
I'm happy you are bringing it back to this, talking about the cost. Shegun here, not him alone, the whole world, including yours sincerely, have vehemently chastised the military, whether done deliberately, whether done, as self-defense. But I come back to where I started from, that two wrongs cannot make the right. Okay, the Nigerian military is pretending they are now trying to strike a snail with a sledgehammer. Yeah, I mean, it could be a way, but look, if you go back into history, you may find out that some of this innocuous, almost what you will say is immaterial when you try to compare and contrast, has led to world wars. It took the assassination of one man in Zambia, Bishop Ferdinand, and then we had all the world wars. There are certain things that has connotation, and as much as I don't want to open in a way that is untoward, I will be shirking a responsibility if I sit here and I tell you that even for that one man, be careful. Be careful about the coloration. Adeyemi is a Yoruba man. And before you know what is happening, and if you are not careful, if you do not manage this properly, you know the kind of situation.
Well, nobody has even mentioned where the person is from on this table.
You see, this man is now trying to create a different narrative, and this is the evil of the Afonja. This Afonja, you can see the way he's driving the narrative, gradually pushing it to a different direction, telling you about the soldier man who was released, he's a Yoruba man, and so therefore this. But we have seen that Sunday Igboho, who is the leader of the Oduduwa group, have come to speak on behalf of the Yoruba land and appreciated the Prime Minister of Biafra government in Nigeria for the release of that man. But yet, look at this Afonja, how he's talking. Let's keep watching.
Name is another thing, but that's not where I'm going. You have to be very careful. There are certain things, if you don't manage them well, they will just dovetail. Now, if you want to put it on balance and say because the Nigerian army has been doing things wrong and all that, we are condemning that. The Nigerian military has not done a lot of some of the things that they have done. Nobody is going to put that on. But going forward, we need to be extra careful.
Trying to understand
for the life of me, on patriotic ground, and I say that all the time, I'll be the last that will be deliberately wanting to put down my military
now
on account of.
You see, these are their funjas. On patriotic ground, you will support every evil that your government is doing. Even when your military is taking innocent life, committing crime here and there. On patriotic ground, you will not condemn them. You will not speak about it. But when it comes to the IPOB, when it comes to the Igbo people, when it comes to the Biafrans, you will be the first person to persecute them. This is the lifestyle, the injustice that we don't want to be part of. This is the injustice we will never accept. We will never accept it.
Things like
the military, of course, they're doing a whole lot.
There are many good people in the military, yes. And we should not
let's look at
think them as I mean, if one or two people are doing bad in the military,
let's look at this call for Simon Ekpa.
Yes.
Somebody on this table did point to the fact that yes, there is insurgency in other parts of the country. In the northern parts of the country, we've dealt with Boko Haram, now christened bandits, and a whole lot. Now, names have been given to the Nigerian government. Some of these names reside within the shores of this country, reside within the borders of this country.
Allegedly.
You don't need to write to ICC to get them, to help you get some of these individuals. Why haven't we, in fact, some of these individuals that have continually perpetrated evil to Nigerians are supposedly, in touch with some relevant individuals within government. Okay. But we haven't been able to nab them. What exactly is the problem here?
The problem is that we are not governing. And
we are not governing?
Yes, we are not governing. And the latest, I can mention names, Bello Tuje is just the latest. We know terrorist financiers has been listed. Not much is being doing in that direction. And it goes beyond. You see, the way I look at this as an economist is the fact that, yes, it's bad. It's terribly bad. But one little badder will not make any good, if you understand. I am not going to try and balance and say, because certain things have been going wrong, and then we close our eyes to whatever. There is a saying that says, if they are going down, let's stay up. I will not, for the life of me, condone a lot of the things that is happening in Nigeria generally, terribly bad. But all I am just saying is that I am a bit careful. Let's be a bit much more sensitive. This one individual may just, like you said, may just go off the cuff, but at the same time, it may lead into some other things. We have a governance problem in Nigeria. The Nigerian military, like other agencies, other than military, within the ambit of what they have, they make their mistakes, they make their errors, but at the same time, they face bullets. A lot of them are very good men and women.
Of course. We cannot take that away. Talking about the military facing bullets, protecting us
when we are sleeping.
Yes. Yeah. It's a tough job. It's a tough job, and we commend them for it. We commend the men of the military for going out there sleepless nights in the rain, protecting Nigerians. Over the weekend, there was a confrontation between the military and a bandit leader, and there was victory. Nigerians were victorious. And there was commendation as well to the military. Talking about that commendation, I read up on a few things there. That military leader, I think his name is Halilu, if I'm not mistaken. There was a bounty on his head. Now, part of the, well, we were not told if it was part of the bounty that was shared amongst the soldiers that carried out that operation. But 1 million naira was given to them. There are quite a number of them. And in sharing it amongst themselves, each person got about 38,400, thereabout. The question on my mind is, in as much as that is some sort of appreciation, if you compare that to what these bandits, Boko Haram, insurgents take, is that motivation enough to the military? That's on one side. Secondly, should soldiers be given part of bounty? I would have thought that medals should be given. And when medals are given, it may translate to increment in salary. Promotion, increment in salary, which will be a lot more encouraging for them, as against less than 40,000 naira, which, of course, they would spend frivolously, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, I didn't hear about this, and I mean, I can admit that, and it comes as a shock to me to hear that something like that would happen. Our military, look, we cannot understate the nature of the sacrifice that anybody in uniform defending and protecting citizens of the country are making. They are putting their lives on the line every day. Sometimes I look at some of these young men and I think to myself, I mean, this guy has signed up for potential death at any point in time. You know, that's the ultimate sacrifice. What more can you lay down, you know, than your life to show that you are dedicated from what's happening in the Southeast? There is somebody behind this. This person is not a ghost. These people are not ghosts. They have names. Where is the work of our intelligence network to identify who these people are? In fact, in the case of the Southeast, Simon Ekpa is taking responsibility. He's speaking with boldness and even issuing commands from Finland. What is the Nigerian state doing to deal with the problem at its roots, or at the top, if you like? This guy has spoken out repeatedly. He even calls himself the prime minister, you know, and he's inciting violence in Nigeria. We know he's in Finland. So if I have heard things, you know, people say things like...
Sorry, what do you think is at the root of the crisis in the Southeast?
No, I mean, look, this is well documented and well known. This is all as a result of the agitation and the feeling of marginalization, self-determination. These issues are not strange to us as Nigerians. We all know the history. You want to trace it all the way back to before the Civil War and all of that. These things are clear. Regardless of those issues, the insecurity that we are now facing in the Southeast should be dealt with. Who is behind it? And we have two people who have been identified. Nnamdi Kanu is one. Simon Ekpa is one. Nnamdi Kanu... Is
it possible to deal with these elements without addressing the underlying factor?
No, of course you can. That you have to separate the two. Look, if somebody is boldly coming on air, social media, and issuing commands and claiming responsibility for insecurity,
but
a shame
IPOB have distanced themselves from the insecurity happening in the Southeast, and that is what gave birth to unknown gunmen. You know, before now, some people had the opinion that IPOBs are the ones perpetuating the whole evil happening in the Southeast, but they came up, Imapa of happened to be their spokesperson, come up to say, we don't have anything to do with this. Even the sit-at-home orders and mandates and all that, they distance themselves from that. So, are you not just saying they are the ones carrying out this now? You know that a family or a house that is divided cannot stand.
Sure.
So why will you now say the IPOBs are fighting for their rights and talking about how they've been marginalized? Will not be the one that is distorting the peace.
Yes, to me, that's all laughable. Even the name unknown gunmen, you know, I've always had problems with that appellation. Because when a certain group of people went into the North Central and started killing people and started even advancing into the Southwest, they were given a name. They were given a name that even had a tribal connotation. Killer Fulani headsmen. Why are the people that are perpetrating whatever is going on in the South is called unknown gunmen? How can
These idiots have forgotten that unknown gunmen was placed, that name was given by Nigerian government themselves. And it did not start from the Southeast. The people that killed the mother of Fela were called unknown soldiers. Everything unknown emanates from the government. And these idiots have failed to blame the government. You are blaming the Biafrans. You are blaming the Southeasterners. They have nothing to do with the insecurity and the unknown government. And we don't know whatever unknown government is doing. What we have in Biafra land today is the Biafra Liberation Army. We speak for them, they work for us, and they defend our land. They are there for self-defense. They are there for self-defense. It is not hidden. Just like when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu launched the ESN, it wasn't hidden until ESN was sold out and they were handed over to the politicians. We now disregard them, take them out, rescue the ones who were rescued, and they were transformed into the Liberation Army. What the Biafran government have today is the Liberation Army. This nonsense you are talking doesn't hold water in the issue of the Biafran people. Don't make those comparisons. The unknown gunmen was created, established by Nigerian government. The insecurity was created, established by Nigerian government. Go and ask them. Unknown didn't start today. It started all the way from Obasanjo. The unknown gunman, unknown, is the unknown soldier. Some of you have a very short memory, but you always look for someone else to blame because of your hatred.
You know to who? Is it to the? Are they unknown to the Nigerian state or unknown to you and I?
Yeah, marksmen.
No problem. So let's not mix the issues up. What I'm saying is that if you do that, you conflate the issues and we confuse ourselves. For me, IPOB has an arm that is armed called ESN. Simon Ekpa has repeatedly stated publicly that he is the one in high command. We know it may not be true.
Simon Ekpa doesn't have anything to do with ESN anymore. Simon Ekpa is in charge of the Liberation Army of Biafra. He has said it again and again and again and again. Why is this dumb people don't hear? Why you don't hear? Hear it again from him.
And we have moved from there to a government. And that's where we are today. So stop linking us to an organization called IPOB, which is a Nigeria political pressure group. And today, they are no longer relevant in Biafra struggle because you have used them for many years to kill our people, use them as sacrifice, only to put for a particular political interest. That particular time has ended. And if the Biafra agitation was a joke, we have made it a reality. It is no longer a joke. Under my leadership, it is not a joke. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you.
You better understand this word. Understand it and take it serious. It is not a joke. If you think it's a joke, it is not. The earlier you understand this...
Sorry, what has the Nigerian state done to apprehend that guy? What have we done with the Finland authorities? For example, we say we don't have treaties with them, Abi. Why can't we, even without a treaty, what has the Nigerian state done to try and apprehend this guy?
Even without the treaty, you see how they encourage kidnapping. This is how they come on national TV, they encourage kidnapping. Even without a treaty, that you can do something, like you did to Umar Rico. And we have seen people come on national TV at every time. That is why you see every one of them. They are part of what happened to the Mazen Nnamdi. When they come today, they will tell you, oh, Mazen Nnamdi is a good man. Mazen Nnamdi was doing good. He is quiet. He is simple. He is not violent. But they went and kidnapped him. Today, this idiot you are seeing here, look at what he's saying on national TV. That even without the treaty, they should go and kidnap Mazi Simon Ekpa. This is how they roll.
And bring him on. Because if you do things like that, then you can begin to nip the issue at the board and deal with it in the Southeast.
All right, then,
we're pretending to ourselves and not really telling ourselves
Let's take a video. We have a video of Toriola making a statement. Let's take this video and then we'll proceed with the questions and answers here.
What is your name? My name is 06NA of the 59 of the 5412 Opera Toriola Adewale from Nigeria Army 16 Brigade. I'm serving in 16th Brigade Nigerian until I travel to this Okigwe.
That is the soldier that was released by the Liberation Army of Biafra.
Liberation Army. And as they had me since almost 2 or 3 days now, they made sure that they didn't do me any evil. They tell me that they are fighting for the liberation of the Biafra. That everything about me, they want to know, and that's why I'm explaining. And they don't do me any evil.
Simon Ekpa was more like at the back door.
Exactly.
He wasn't calling the shots until Nnamdi was taken out of the seat. Now we see somebody who has more drive, who is probably more aggressive than Nnamdi Kanu. And you say, if we take him out, has he solved the problem in the South? That is what I want us to work around.
I agree with you. I think that, first of all, just like Mr. Fatuke said earlier, I think Nnamdi Kanu is close to being, I think he will be released. Because for me, in my opinion, the rhetoric has been toned down significantly. Nnamdi Kanu will be an asset to the Nigerian state if they handle him well in dealing with the insecurity in this. So it partially speaks to what you are trying to talk about.
This is a mad statement that Nnamdi Kanu will be access to Nigerian government. You are mad. You are dreaming. It is not going to happen. Nnamdi Kanu cannot be an access to Nigerian government. Except you will give us Biafra. He made it clear in a plain language. It is either Biafra or death. The video I played before I started this program, go and watch that interview that was related to Martin Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria. He said it is too late. It is either Biafra or Biafra. And even if anything happened today, peradventure, Martin Nnamdi Kanu is no longer strong enough to continue. Mazi Samuel Ekpa is going to lead us to Biafra. The only thing you should be talking about is how to let the Biafran people go. Thinking that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be access to you, you are an idiot.
If Nnamdi Kanu is harnessed as an asset,
you cannot harness Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
This thing will disappear. If they release him and there is some sort of understanding between himself and the people that are involved, this issue will disappear. Simon Ekpa is a different phenomenon. The guy is out there claiming responsibility for violence, and he must be apprehended by the Nigerian state and brought
a dreamer.
Then, you see, the other issue you are talking about, the underlying agitations. How do you want to deal with this? I have said repeatedly, I hope that we'll get there.
All right, Mr. Akin, do you share same opinion on this issue, or do you have a diverse opinion?
As a historian,
this one is Afonja. I don't have to waste my time listening to this Afonja, what he's going to say.
Marginalization. Is there a part of Nigeria that is not marginalized? Except if you are in the presidency, a turn-by-turn kind of situation. Are you saying? Are you saying?
If you talk,
I know you won't allow me to land. Please be fair. Be fair. I talk Nigerian. I'm not partisan in any way.
Mr. K, sometimes we don't have to be politically correct. We have to look at issues.
The point I am making to you,
because if you talk about marginalization in the presidency, Southeast will claim marginalized clearly, and it's evident.
If Southeast claims marginalization, then go back to 1960.
Not about the presidency. Not about
go
the
back to 1960.
No, you brought it to the level of presidency.
I think
if you talk about presidency, Southeast is clearly marginalized.
Now allow me.
No, you said something that is not correct. Anyhow you look at it.
Correct him.
Okay, so I should. Okay, go ahead.
No, you talk, but you can go ahead.
So if you allow
the correction.
I am saying
to you, be, because when you keep quiet, you continue to push
and see whether the Nigerian nation has healed from what obviously started from the Southeast. So, please, we should not.
Of course, just start from the South. If you claim to be a historian, you should know that it started from the Wild West.
Exactly.
It didn't start from the Southeast. And if you want to talk about the January 15th coup, it was not the one you had a preponderance of officers from the Southeast. We had Hausas and Yorubas involved in that same coup. Okay. It's out there in the open.
And so many people.
So it wasn't a Southeast.
Excuse me. So many people were killed. So many Igbos were killed. Like people in the Southwest. Look, I am not interested in your slang.
This is how they direct
narrative. I am just
push narrative
making the point. Either you take it or you don't take it. There are other parts of Nigeria that are also feeling marginalized as we speak now.
And those people have not spoken out. Southeast is clearly speaking out.
No.
This is how they when you complain, they tell you everybody is suffering.
Then that means you are not listening. You are not prepared to listen. Now,
Listing what?
But you asked a very charming question. What? You asked him, and I want to provide an answer.
Yes.
What is the root cause for what we have? We are different. We don't see Nigeria as an entity that we all can be patriotic into. We are different tribes, we are different tongues. And the only way to get equity and justice is to raise our hand and say, this contraption cannot continue.
So in a nutshell, you're saying that those that want to go should be allowed to go. Is that what you're saying, Mr. King?
No.
Because you said we have different ethnic groups in this country, and the country is not really what it
okay.
should be.
Except that if you want to go...
So are you of the opinion that when people raise hand, they should go?
I do not have any problem with you going. It's the manner that you choose to want to go. There are legitimate ways to want to go. I don't have any problems with the Biafrans saying that they want the Biafran state. Go and do your referendum. Come back. Tell us.
Can they do referendum when the state doesn't allow referendum?
Wait now. She asked the question and I'm answering the question.
Mr. Aki, you gave a wrong answer.
My point, no, it's not in your place to say I've given a wrong answer.
No, you can't say Southeast is going to conduct a referendum where the Nigerian state doesn't allow referendum.
Okay.
It's clearly a wrong answer.
Is the Southwest not asking that they want to go? You didn't hear that?
So did you ask them to go and conduct a referendum?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How would they conduct asking people to conduct a referendum is a solution,
no.
Because what you then need to say, and I'm sure he will get there, is that
you are not allowing me.
Because so, we can conduct referendums.
The way I see this,
you can't conduct referendum until the state says we can conduct.
You are different.
But now let's bring it to the statement again,
from me.
Mr. Akin.
Recognize the fact that you are different from me. When you don't recognize that you are different from me, then there will always be wait now. Then there will always be problem. This happened in 1960 or about 1963 between.
Everybody that is watching now, you see why Nigeria can never ever be one or succeed. When you listen to this argument on your own time, go back and watch this program on this particular place. I'm going to cut it out later and share. This particular argument here, you will see the hardened heart of the hatred on the Biafran people. More especially Igbo Biafran, they will always display that hatred, no matter how they pretend. When the argument is heated, you begin to see the real Afonja attitude. It is so bad. We must have to leave this contraption.
Nnamdi Azikiwe and Ahmadu Bello.
All right.
We are saying we are not uniform in all ways. And our politics has just been, well, it's going to be my turn, so I take it there. Okay, a particular part of the country will decide that, okay, this is going to be president, that's not going to be president, and all that, and going to be turn by turn. We're not going to get development.
All right, then.
So the point I am making is equity, justice, fair play.
All right.
I also slant to the Southeast, for instance. If you look at it, how many states do you have in the Southeast, even though you are landlocked?
You see one of the lies that we are landlocked. Southeast is not landlocked. This criminal is coming again. They are Afonja. This is one of the lies they preach. They say we are landlocked. We are not landlocked. And I thank God that he was challenged here.
Well, about 1963, between Nnamdi Azikiwe and
we are not
Ahmadu
landlocked, idiots.
Right. We are saying we are not uniform in all ways. And our politics has just been, well, it's going to be my turn, so I take it there. Okay, a particular part of the country will decide that, okay, this is going to be president, that's not going to be president, and all that, and going to be turn by turn. We're not going to get development.
All right, then.
So the point I am making is equity, justice, fair play.
All right.
I also slant to the Southeast, for instance. If you look at it, how many states do you have in the Southeast, even though you are landlocked? If you go to the
we are running out of time.
Yes, we are not landlocked.
We are absolutely out of time.
Southeast is not landlocked.
This would be a good place to anchor this conversation.
Southeast is not landlocked.
It will continue.
Southeast is not landlocked. This is one of the lies they push every day. This idiot, this is one of the lies they push every day. We are not landlocked and we will never be landlocked. We are not. And I want you to hear this from a son of Biafra that have made the investigation properly.
Phrase. Our detractors say that the Southeast or Anibo is landlocked. But is Anibo landlocked? The answer is no. Anibo is not. Igbo land is not landlocked. And like I said earlier, we have one of the deepest access to the ocean. Now, with this, I would like to welcome you to another interesting episode at Voice of the Sun. Today, we'll be dispelling the lies and the propaganda that says that Igbo land, is landlocked and that we do not have access to the ocean, which is something you will always hear in the Nigerian media space. So now, before we go ahead to discuss the geography of Igbo, I would like for us to define what a landlocked region or country is, right? So, a country or region is considered landlocked when it is surrounded by one or more countries and therefore has no immediate coastline preceding, or providing access to the sea or the ocean. Now, simply put, this means that a landlocked country is a country that is inside another country. Now, with this definition, would you say that Igbo land is inside another country? The answer is no. The answer is no. So to understand the far reach of our land, Igbo, let us dive into a little geography, and list the far reaches, not few, the far reaches of our land, Igbo, before the Nigerian government, carved it all up, carved it out, and turned them into the south-south, leaving us with just 5 southeastern states, right? So Igbo are located on both sides of the River Niger. And we occupy most of the old eastern region. Before we had southeast, we had at independence we had an old eastern region which compassed the 5 southeastern states, rivers. All the south states were under the what do you call it? The old eastern region, right? So let us look at that location, that geographical location. So Igbo, that is what I love to call Igbo. It measures up to 41,000 square kilometers, and it includes the old provinces of Onitsha, Owerri, East Rivers, which is Iguacha, which they renamed as Port Harcourt, and then we have Southwest Benin. No, not Southwest Benin. We have Southeast Benin, the Abo area, and then coming down Abo area, yes. Then we have West Ogoja, and then we have the Northeast Warri. All of these are the areas that you would find Igbo people all around the south, the old eastern Nigeria, right? So, so now, a detailed study of Igbo will show you that. So now I'm going into the rivers, the waterways, the tributaries we have in Igbo. Now, a detailed study of our topography would show you that Abia State, Keta, Imo State, Anambra have some of the shortest distances, tributaries leading to the Atlantic Ocean. We have the Azumini or Azumiri in Abia State. We have Imo River. We have Omambala, which is River Niger. And then we have Oguta Lake in Imo State. We have Oseakwa River in Ihiala, Anambra State, which actually terminates in the southeast end of the Atlantic Ocean. And then these rivers I mentioned above, they all have short, very, very short navigational paths to the Atlantic Ocean. And geographically, they have far shorter distances. If you measure the distance, which is not measured in nautical miles, from land to the sea, measured in nautical miles. Not the nautical miles of these rivers, they are shorter than that of Calabar, Port Harcourt, Ibaka Seaport, to the Atlantic Ocean. One of my lights have gone off, but we must continue. So yeah. So the Azumini River in Abia State and the Imo River are basically 15 to 30 nautical miles to the beachhead of the Atlantic Ocean. Keep this in mind. The Azumini in Abia and the Imo River are 15 to 30 nautical miles to the beachhead of the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have the Obuako River in Abia State, which is 25 nautical miles. 25 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean from the confluence of the Azumini River and the Imo River. Where the Azumini River and the Imo River meet, there you find the Obuako River, and it has 25 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have the Oseakwa River in Ihiala, which I mentioned earlier, which is just a mere 18 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean, and it has a depth of 65 feet, making it the deepest waterway to the Atlantic Ocean, the deepest natural waterway to the Atlantic Ocean in Nigeria as a whole. Other waterways, other seaports might be deep, but they were dredged. This one is 65 feet deep. Akwa River in Ihiala, Anambra State, the deepest in Nigeria naturally, right? So, and then we have Moto in Oguta. The pronunciation it's what I'm trying to get. I've not been there before. It's spelled Osemoto, Moto in Oguta. It has 18 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean, right? So to understand why I said we have the shortest and the closest and the deepest waterways to the Atlantic Ocean, let us compare the rivers I mentioned above now in Anibo to the seaports in Nigeria. So the Port Harcourt seaport was dredged up to 50 miles to the Atlantic Ocean through the Bonny River. 50. On a seaport was dredged up to 60 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. The Calabar seaport was dredged 45 miles, nautical miles. When I say miles, nautical miles, 45 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Ibaka seaport is 30 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. This one comes closer to what we have in Anibo. One year, small, a little, right? 30 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. And then the Lagos seaports, the seaports in Lagos, were dredged 50 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. So that this means that the water in the current southeast region alone, have fewer nautical miles and are closer to the Atlantic Ocean than the One, Calabar, Ibaka, Lagos, and Port Harcourt seaports, respectively. I want this to sink in so you understand that you have been lied to, we have been lied to. Let this sink in. Every other seaport in Nigeria exists today was dredged to get to where they are. But naturally, we have the shortest distance to the Atlantic Ocean. And if we further dredge these tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean, we would have some of the best seaports you have in Africa. Or let me just say in Nigeria. Right, so that being said, we move forward. So in 1959 was before our independence in 1960. So you understand where I'm going to. The Akwa River in Ihiala and the Moto in Oguta were mapped out to be made seaports. You understand? They were mapped out to be made seaports. But the projects were abandoned by the Nigerian government. It's not today they started trying to hinder Igbo progress. They abandoned the projects of the seaport projects in Anibo. And even the Admiralty membership license was erased. To confirm what I'm saying, the African Development Bank has a report on this particular project. You can go search. I think I will find the report. It will be in an article we'll publish following this video, so you'll see it there. So that being said, so let us get to how did we Ndi Igbo. Now, before I even get to how we lost our lands as Ndi Igbo, I want you to try and wrap your head around all I have said. Anibo is not landlocked. Anibo is not landlocked. I'm repeating this so that it registers in the head of both our people and both our detractors. Anibo is not landlocked. By distance to the sea, by having multiple access tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean and having one of the deepest waterways to the Atlantic Ocean, we are not landlocked. So let us move forward. Now, how did we lose so much of our lands? How did Indigo of this generation now come to believe that we are landlocked, we don't have access to the sea? How did we get there? So now, some of the major contributors to this, of how we lost our ancestral lands, because these are our ancestral lands, and natural access to the ocean, was the abandoned property policy, in the south, in the new form South, and the Igbophobia, the hate of Ndi Igbo that followed the Biafran War of survival. It was a genocide on us that we had to fight to survive, with over 3 million killed. So many of our Igbo brothers, after they started to deny their Igbo-ness and ancestry, you find this a lot in Port Harcourt. You even find it across the Niger among some of our Nyama brothers who now say they are not Igbo. But you bear Igbo names. You find the likes of Rotimi Amechi, Chibike Rotimi Amechi, Wike that say they are not Igbo. Man, you are answering an Igbo name. What's his name? There was one that was a Nigerian team, somebody Olisa, Sunday Olisa. Excuse me. Sunday Olisa said he was not an Igbo man. Manina Azo Olisa. Where is Olisa from? But I'm just trying to point to you how some of our Igbo brothers, they had to deny their Igbo-ness because of the stigma of that Biafran war. And then also by 1976, when General Olusegun Obasanjo was the then military president, he used this. There was a Justice Nasir boundary adjustment commission that was created, and they intentionally carved up and carved out Igbo territories and carved them into the new fangled or called mangled is the word, South. They created a South, which does not exist on the map anywhere in the world. South is not a region that exists anywhere in the world, only in Nigeria. They created it to reduce the political power, the resources, and what have you of Ndi Igbo, and they created a South. That was in 1976, the work of Olusegun Obasanjo and his Justice Nasir boundary adjustment commission. That was when we lost some of our lands, and then going forward, and there are other ways too we lost our lands, but these are the major ones. Now brings us down to the state creation of states and all of that. And over the years, there was no more history. After the war, history was erased from Nigerian schools. So without teaching of history, there are certain things you wouldn't know about your people. History was erased. So Ndi Igbo did not even know their ancestry, who their brothers were, how far reached their lands were. We lost all of this with the stopping of teaching of history. Some of us know these things because we invest time in studying our history. You look at the books you see on the set. You see I have lots of history books. This is just few of what I have in my library. And then we have materials online with lots. If you don't know your history, one day you are gone. You wouldn't know a thing. A foreigner will come and lie to you that your father killed your mother, and you will believe it because you don't know your history. So going forward, we're coming to the conclusion. In conclusion, it is important for us as Ndi Igbo to know that we have a legal access to the ocean. We have a legal access to the ocean. And this legal access is known as the international law of the sea. The international law of the sea. Whether you are in Nigeria, whether we Ndi Igbo belong to Nigeria or we have a country of our own, this law gives us unhindered access to the nearest sea because we are an indigenous people. Every indigenous people who have waterways leading to the Atlantic Ocean have rights to the ocean and can say that this part of the ocean belongs to us. So among all the waterways I listed, at least we can say we have close to 8 in Ndi Igbo that have short and deep tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean. So then tomorrow you come out and tell me, or you tell my children, that we don't have access to the ocean, that we are landlocked. You lie. You lie. You understand?
Very, very clear message. So when they will come and confront you and tell all those lies, oh, you are landlocked, you are landlocked, you are landlocked. It is a lie. You are not landlocked. And we are talking about Biafra. Biafra comprises of the southeast, southwest, southeast, south, lower Benue, and lower Kiki. Igbo land, even if you talk about Igbo land alone, Igbo nation alone is not landlocked. Igbo nation is not landlocked. We have the best access to the sea, the closest and the deepest. We have it. But because of their wickedness, their envy and jealousy, they continue to preach lies. Even some of us are beginning to believe them that we are landlocked. That is why you will see some of our celebrities, even some people you respect, they will come and tell you that you are landlocked.
We are not landlocked. I believe this message is going to sink. Carry it along and go forward with it. Thank you so much for joining me on this program. I appreciate everyone that have participated, and we will come back again tomorrow to continue on this amazing program. For today, we are going to hold it up here so that we can be able to continue next time and do some other things, other inquiry. Tomorrow, we are going to have another interesting program also, a very interesting discussion also that we're going to be able to dissect tomorrow. Wherever you are, try to join that tomorrow program, and you'll be glad you did. Important things will be discussed. Thank you for being part of the program. May Chukwu Okike be my guide and protect every one of us.
Biafra Republic! Biafra Republic! Thank
Willianaga Obobi Anamamia Omo Biafra ne wongo Israel ne wongo Omo kainjana Hey Not so Ayala Omo Biafra nala Ayala na lanso Ngwanu kailawa Aka kucha onwa We are unstoppable. We are indefatigable. The 14 states of Biafra. One. Ayana. Chidere. Oh, they go ya. Chidera in Biafra. Ayala wala. Mandi no obodo Igbo. Mandi no na Nigeria. Mandi no na mbo ọzọ dị iche iche. Obi kadawala. Ọ na-akpanyụ n'ugwu na ndịda. Oge ụnụ anyị erugo. Webe ọṅụ. Eluigwe na-enwe ọṅụ. Anyị akpọ. Ana m anụ ya. Na so. Gbaa ya agba. Shuka. Nwayọ. Na so we dey do am. Papa jiri ya nwayọ. Mama gbara m egwu a. Nwayọ. Ụmụaka ụmụ Biafra ụmụ ọma. Anyị a na-anụ. N'obodo ụmụ ahụ. Obodo kwere anyị na nkwa. Ekene otito dị n'ọbasi nke igwe. Eze Chineke abịa m ụra. Onye na-etinye ụzọ ebe ụzọ na-adịghị. Odumala. Biafra, omen, una.